Okay, it is day 8, the day after, and you can probably hear that my voice is back to normal. Well, mostly back to normal. It still catches once in a while, but man, let me tell you, it going 7 days. It's crazy how much fluid my body took in, and I took it really slow. Um, but I just kept having, um, you know, humic water and fulvic water and sparkling water to kind of stop the acidity in my body. And it was just glass after glass after glass after glass. And so it was 8 hours straight of sipping on water, drinking water, um, and I didn't pee. So it took 8.5 hours. So my body was just sucking that up. So I put on 10 pounds of water weight immediately. So I went from 185 to 195. And I can tell my body's still rehydrating a lot. You can feel it when you drink it. It's just going to different parts of the body, and like the appearance of different parts of the body are changing. Like my feet don't look so haggard anymore. They were looking so desiccated before. And it was so nice to take a normal shower and shave and kind of come back to normal. Um, Mentally, I'm still a little foggy. It's not terrible, but it's noticeable. I was searching for words a little bit, and it's quite a shock to the body to do this. But it's a good stress. I gotta tell you, I've done a 5-day dry fast before, but the stuff that came out when I got rehydrated was shocking. Just absolutely shocking. I mean, for the and actually, I mean, I'm just gonna share this with you. So I haven't eaten. I didn't even eat the day before I did the fast. Very like extremely little. So I haven't eaten in, it's like 8 days um, at that point. And I did 2 number 2s yesterday, but it was just toxic black orangish sludge. That's all it was, and it's my body's been sequestering all that probably from the lymph system into the gut, and it just wanted to get rid of it so bad. But it had 2 of those, and it just, I've never seen anything like it. Like it just looked not right. And supposedly, from the research I've done, those are some of the toxins that were inside the cells that got pushed out of the cells for excretion, and they end up in your gut. And then the rest is misfolded proteins, old zombie cells, what they call senescent cells, old broken DNA, stuff like that. So that was wild. And then, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I caught my first 2 peas in a jar because I wanted to see what it would settle out to, and horrifying, horrifying. There's this weird at the bottom of the jar. There's this weird stratification or layer of white particulate matter. No idea what it is. And then it separates into another layer, and then another layer above that of different colors. But this stuff is like, I mean, this is like opaque. It's brown. It's brown urine with a lot of particulate matter in it, like a ton. And again, I guess that's, toxins that for whatever reason they chose the kidneys as the route to go out instead of the gut. But your body's own native healing intelligence knows what it's doing, so I trust it. And looking at both of those, that stuff coming out, I was like, wow, that is really worth it to not have that in me anymore. So that should mean that my cellular machinery starts spinning up and working better. Besides being on a high, like a hard keto diet, or only drinking deuterium depleted water, a dry fast is the only way to remove deuterium from the inside of your cells. And that's a topic that's talked about a little bit right now, but not much. I think because there's no real easy solution for it. The deuterium depleted water that you can buy is super expensive, and it comes in plastic, so you replace one problem with another. But deuterium, think of it as like throwing a wrench into the gears in your mitochondria. It stops them from spinning as fast as they normally can, literally. So they can't produce as much energy. So as hellacious as that 7-day was, it's worth it just to know that I've given my body that gift. And soon, as the cells continue to recover, I'll be producing a lot more energy. Still fairly tired today, no question. I'm not in a hurry to do another 7-day. I'll tell you what, physically it wasn't too terrible. My mouth was dry the whole time, but it wasn't wretched like it was the first 5-day dry fast I did. And I was never hungry, absolutely never hungry, and I was never really thirsty. But I was just uncomfortable all the time. And my mental capacity was so diminished. I struggle with boredom and just laying around and not being able to do anything. I'm a doer. I'm used to doing things, and like I could barely read a book, you know. About all I could do is watch videos. So yeah, it's interesting. Those 2 extra days after the 5 are really a grind, man. They're really hard. It was just rough. Man, day 3 and day 5 were the hardest. Day 3, I think, because that's when you fully kick over into hard ketosis and your body's doing really aggressive autophagy, and you feel it. It feels weird, and it's also like really taxing. Day 5, I think, was hard for me because, well, I think it's because that's when I stopped last time. So I was like, oh my gosh, I feel not good. Like, I feel really ungood right now, and I got 2 more days of this. I was like, oh. But I made it. So got some interesting updates for you with the bioelectrical impedance analysis. So the body scan, body composition analyzer. I did it every day. I'm about to go do it today. Really interesting to compare some stuff there. But yeah, I did it. I'm still on liquid for the first 3 days, broths and water, that's it, to let the digestion slowly wake up, come back to life. No sugar for 2 weeks, so I don't stress the pancreas out, spike my insulin, and then cause the regrowth of fat cells that I've just lost. But hey, you know what? I had an opportunity. I kind of had this time available. I could be in this beautiful space here in the country to do this, so I took it. But man, it's no joke. So the stem cells continue to be active for 6 months, but I know they're most active for about the first 6 to 8 weeks, I believe. So those are still flowing. So everything I'm going to do from here on out, I will be doing to support the stem cells as much as I can, because I want them to proliferate and do their thing. Oh, final thing. I haven't been able to smell very well for years. A long time. I don't know what happened, but something happened. And I can smell now. It's the weirdest thing. like I didn't know I was missing out on the smell as much as I was. So if somebody lost their sense of smell from a condition or something, dry fast is probably the way to go. You might not even have to do a 7-day. Oh, final thing, really interesting. So I've done the 5-day and I've done the 7-day and I've done a bunch of shorter ones like 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever. So the 5-day was my very first one. Here's what's interesting is on that one, I had a lot of physical pain at old injury and old surgical sites. So my ribs hurt, my ankle hurt, my surgical orthopedic surgery on my right wrist was killing me. Back of my head where I had concussions. This time, tiny little bit in the ankle, tiny little bit in the back of the head, felt nothing else. And I've got, I think, over a dozen broken bones and had a few surgeries. There's a lot going on, no pain, nothing. And it seemed like all the healing was based on the gut. It was really focused on that this time. Oh, and the second thing, so the toxins I excreted at the end of my 5-day, I did the same thing with the pee in the jar. I know it's gross, but I had to see. And that was just a layer of black, literally just black stuff and some gray stuff, no white. And then that was it. So what was the black and gray stuff? And why didn't I have that come out this time? Well, the truth is, I don't know without sending it to a lab, but I'll tell you this, it sank really fast and it did a layer like instantly after I went in the jar. So I suspect it's potentially was heavy metals, which is one of the most toxic things that human body can encounter. And so it makes sense that your first dry fast, your body's own native healing wisdom would push out the most poisonous stuff first. That's my theory anyway, because the second time I think it's misfolded proteins, old zombie cells, senescent cells, and broken DNA, stuff like that. So that was interesting. So yeah, that's the summary for today. I'll be in touch with more maybe about the reports and the analysis I did, but yeah, still recovering, still tired, but thanks for watching these with me.